getting back into 40k was a really big mistake, and not for the reason that you're thinking. Because you might be thinking to yourself right now, if you're familiar with 40k, oh no, you probably hate 10th edition, or you probably don't like how competitive the game is. That's untrue. 3D printing was the mistake. Figuring out that you can get third-party dealers for really good 3D printed miniatures on Etsy for about 25% the cost of actual Warhammer, that did me in. Yeah, I'm so cooked, guys. And not only that, but I also got access to a 3D printer through some public means, and I basically now have 30 Kazrakin, 4 Chimeras, 1 really big Chimera because I messed up the scaling on it, 20 little Tyranids that can be Gene Stealers, a Moloch, and a Winged Hive Tyrant for a friend, of course. And I still need to print a Bane Blade, 2 Chimeras, 6 Leman Russes, maybe another unit of Sanguinary Guard, like 18 Aggressors. Like, guys, this has made me greedy, okay? And also, when it comes to the Etsy stuff, I still want to... This is the problem, okay? Like, my plans for what I want to do with my 40k armies are not smart, and are not very... It's not that they aren't realistic, it's just that I don't paint enough to make them realistic. But, let me just quickly run through my pile of shame. Very quickly. About 150 Guardsmen, unpainted, 6 heavy weapons teams, 4 Chimeras, 4 Rogel Dorns, 1 Leman Russ, 1 really big Chimera that I might turn into a Leman Russ somehow. I have a Sanguinor proxy that I'm going to put some Sanguinary Guard wings on, and about 24 Custodians. But I really like painting Custodians, so that shouldn't be a problem. Oh, and then like 4 bikes that still need to be painted. And I need to fix my bikes as well, because their flying stands broke. Oh my god. No, and dude, my pile of shame continues to grow, but this video will dwell no longer on it. And this is the biggest reason why it was a mistake, because everything else about 40k, getting back into it, has been excellent, alright? And you know what? Let me just start with the best part. The mostest bestest part, okay? The community. Man, I've just basically either shown up for my local game store, hosts these things. It's a little mini tournament on Friday evenings where you just show up with like 1,000 to 1,500 points. You play it out a little bit, and you're like, yeah, let's just have a good 2-round tournament, and everyone puts in $5, and the winner gets like $15 in store credit or whatever. It's very fun. I played the same Death Guard player 3 times, and I don't mind, because, you know, if you know anything about Death Guard and the meta right now, damn, Mortarion is good. And also Blightlord, or no, not Blightlord. Death Shroud Terminators are also really good. And Poxwalkers. I got close, though. I was playing with my Custodians. They've been a super fun army to get back into with, because they're just super simple and fun. And man, it was great. And playing against that guy was awesome. If you're watching this and you figured out who you are, dude, those were some of my favorite games getting back in. Could not have gone back in a better way. It's awesome. And I don't mind getting my ass kicked at all, because my history on the tabletop has been me continually face planting. Because when I got into 9th edition, right, I started about a year into 9th edition, and I started with Tau, and Crisis Suit Tau, and like a very like basic, simple Tau list. I don't know. There was apparently one guy who could make it work, like Richard Siegler. Apparently he's like the GOAT. I was not the GOAT. I just continually just face planted. But I did have my funny 18 Crisis Suit list, so that was fun. But, you know, I don't mind losing. You know, and the tabletop has been really good, because the way that I play Warhammer is it's like casual competitive, right? I use the competitive tournament format, because I do think, like, chapter approved 2025, 2026 is very fun to play. For a couple reasons, and this is where I'm going to get a little analytical. 10th edition 40k is designed around competitive play. They try and make the game balanced. They have sucked out a lot of the flavor of the game, where all of your abilities can really be boiled down to you want to roll sixes, or you get a +1 to wound, or you have a feel no pain, or you have a -1 to wound, right? They're all very similar abilities. There's not too much weird stuff. You know, like there's more reactive moves, which I actually think are really cool because it makes planning around them interesting. And like, ooh, I need shooting and I need melee and I need to position myself well so your reactive move doesn't get me. But what it has done is on the competitive side, games can be real nail biters. Like the last 2,000 point game of 40k that I played came down to Karn the Betrayer making or failing a 9-inch charge into a single Sister of Silence. And me and my opponent, we looked at it and we're just like, oh man, this is crazy. We're both on the edge of our seats just watching this go down. And, you know, I think there's like ways to play the game well. Like, I know it's a dice game, but part of the game that I enjoy is figuring out weird tactics and things that like work. So, for instance, the army that I've been trying to, like, really get into and play well, right? The one that I'm doing my casual competitive with, right? Consists of 25 Custodian Guard, which I haven't looked at top lists. Oh, and it doesn't have any of the graph tanks, right? So I've been just trying to figure out how that works. And you want to know the tactics that I've come down to is deep striking bricks of Custodian Guard and having them arrive on my opponent's turn due to rapid ingress, which surprisingly works, like, really well. And I think it's really funny how that just, like, works. I don't know. It's fun. Okay, Lines of the Emperor is also really fun. I don't know. I've just been having a great time on the tabletop, man. It's fun. 10th edition is good when you play how it wants to be played, right? I don't think it's super casual friendly. It's better for new people. It's better for new people, right? Because I have gotten in about 2 people into 40k recently. I'm going to try and get 3 or 4 more in. And they've been able to pick up the game really easily. And coming back to 10th edition, I played for like the first 6 to like 9 months before life got in the way, and I just kind of dropped out, and I'm coming back to it back in like June. And it was really easy to pick back up again, you know? Like, sure, there were some rules changes, sure, there were some things that were different, but, you know, there are people always around you in busy game stores that you can always ask questions about, and I think it's definitely a more communal source of information to be like, lean over 2 tables and go, hey guys, I've got a rules question, can you help me out? You know? Because I know rules churn is a big problem for people, and I think having, you know, you don't need to know all the rules to have a good time with 40k, and I get that that can be frustrating for people who want to get all the rules right. But 10th edition is fun when you just play with random missions. Tactical missions are awesome, because getting those random missions and having to design your list around not only like how to fight your opponent, but how to fight random chance, and being able to card count your missions and your opponent's missions to be like, oh, you haven't had an action one in a while. You probably have an action one coming up soon. I'm going to kill your action unit. And then they draw like cleanse or something like that. And it's like, that's pretty cool. You know, I just think it's great. And, you know, painting. Painting has also been really fun because, like, I think having people to hobby with, like, me and my girlfriend had a hobby day where she built her first stealth suits. Look at them. They're great. She's going to paint them like Hatsune Miku. It's awesome. And I got to build out, like, my Custodian Guard and all this stuff and, like, finally build up all my stuff. And that was really fun to do. That was awesome to, like, finally get to, like, you know, share that with somebody I love. No, I think it's great. And, like, the whole hobby side is awesome. And I already mentioned this, but 10th edition is probably the easiest game to... It's the easiest it's ever been to get people into 40k. Now, let me put an asterisk here. The two people who I have run an introductory game with, I basically held their hand the way through it, as you should for an introductory game, which helped a lot. And then also, the other thing is they both are experienced tabletop gamers. So the first one, my friend, he really wants to get into Imperial Guard, and so he has played 40k before. Like, he's done the introductory stuff. He got the like Plaguefall box back in 8th edition, and those are actually my first models. I like picked them up off him, and I still have those models from 8th edition in my basement. I need to give them to one of the mini Death Guard players at my store, bro. They deserve it. He's played it before, right? And he's also played things like Dungeons and Dragons before, so the whole idea of a tabletop war game is not super far-fetched. He's familiar with the concept. And my other friend is also pretty familiar with it, plays lots of Dungeons and Dragons, picks up a lot of different rule sets, right? He's more well-versed in the tabletop RPG systems, like multiple systems, than I am. Like, he plays like Die and like the Cyberpunk game, you know. So they're both experienced tabletop gamers. Maybe not with wargaming, but they've had a very easy time picking up 10th edition. And that's one of the reasons why I recommend 40k for new people. Not because it's the best system out there or GW is so good, but for the main reason that 3D printing, super prominent nowadays. You can get really good looking armies off Etsy or eBay for like half or a quarter the price if you just hunt for deals. I have a box of 100 guardsmen sitting to my right now. They're all like converted Bretonnian, kind of like peasant yeoman farmers that look super great. And I got 3 heavy weapons teams as well. Yeah, that was 100. No, that wasn't $100. That was $70 just from a guy that I met. You know, like, these good deals are out there, right? And I think you can get into 40k for a lot of really cheaply in a lot of different ways. You don't have to 3D print. There are more illegitimate sites that I'm not going to recommend, but they're out there. I've bought from ChinaCast before. That's why I have so many custodians, and that's why I have a Forge World Dreadnought. No, this is definitely from Forge World. It's made out of resin, can't you see? Closing thoughts. This has been a very rambly video, and I'm just making this because I'm scripting another video about 40k right now, and, you know, I just wanted to put something out because I'm excited about it, and I am very happy that I got back into 40k, and my wallet is not. Dropping $90 in an evening on new models and STLs to give my friend a Tyranids army was maybe not the smartest, but it was fun. Also, it's really bad that I'm getting to watch other people play their armies because I now want a Tyranids army. Like, I think I would never, ever, for the life of me, ever want a Tyranids army. And then I went to My Mini Factory, which has these really good, not Tyranids. But I now have all the STLs for, you know, like 3 Molochs, 3 Trigons, Winged Hive Tyrants, Genes, you know, like, I could totally 3D print a bunch of stuff to get. I could have Tyranids, and it's like looking at the box of 100 guardsmen, and then the other box of 100 guardsmen, and then the motor pool of tanks that I still need to paint. And then my custodians, like, tap my shoulder, and I look over my shoulder, and they're just glowering at me, unpainted and unprimed. Oh, God. And then, like, a fucking Necron, like, reanimation protocols. The Tincadians I still need to build crawl their way out, and it's like, ah! I'll get there one day. I'll get a Tyranids army eventually, man. Subterranean assaults is so cool. But yeah, no. If you made it, if you endured this bullshit that I'm spewing, I hope you enjoyed, you know? Thank you all for sitting through and watching this. And, you know, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. You all have a good one. And, also, fun fact, I don't have a Votann army. I really want a Votan army, but it's the same thing with Tyranids. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. Thank you all for watching. Have a good night.